Hi, I'm Dawn. Thank you for joining me here on Soul Spark. This is part 9, Higher Who. So, if you were like me at soul recognition, I had never heard of twin flames. I had never heard of the higher self, the higher soul, the oversoul, and it was all just really confusing. And especially since some people have different ideas of these and use them interchangeably sometimes. And I just really wanted something concrete to stand on when I'm discussing them. And so I ended up doing the chart in part 6, Soul Bridge, to help me lay it all out, to be able to visualize everything. In doing this, it just really helped me to tie up some loose ends. And even if it doesn't fully resonate with you, hopefully it will still be helpful to you in some way. The higher soul is a fractal of what some call the oversoul, which is a fractal of spirit, but the oversoul is over more soul families. It's more like a soul community. So, just like spirit or God, you can seek guidance from your higher soul. And I had heard Gregg Braden on the Missing Link series on Gaia discuss, he's also on YouTube, discuss holograms and how you can cut away a portion of a hologram and the entire image is still on the cutaway. And you can cut away from that portion, and on every cutaway of the hologram, the entire image is still visible. The soul is made into fractals in this sense with each dimension, so it's still whole, but is able to create fractals of itself, which are whole also, but become more individualized. In each, there is a spark of the divine, and all the way from the oversoul to the 3D, we are a fractal of the soul. The soul is a fractal of the higher soul, and so on. And with each fractal, there is more individualized personality. So the higher soul is kind of like the head of the household where you have a soul family. This is where you have soulmates. The higher soul is the collector of all the experiences within that soul family from all their lifetimes and knows all about every lifetime and every life of every soul in its soul family. Then moving into another fractal, we have the individualized soul. That's my soul and no one else's. Oh, unless you're a twin flame, which is probably why you're here. If you haven't watched part 1, I highly recommend it because I share a visual that came to me as a vision during meditation, and it really helped me to understand how we share our soul. It's not split into two, it's not half with me and half with them. We share our entire soul. This is awareness, which is part of how we align with our soul frequency. The more we open our minds to being, to awareness, to knowledge, the closer we get to our soul. So the individualized soul exists in the physical in different dimensions, such as in our higher self. Your higher self is aligned with your soul because it is your best you. It's in a higher dimension and also has a sense of time, though time is not as relevant or linear as it is in the 3D. Understanding the higher self took me a while, but I asked for spiritual guidance, and what I got was that your higher self is not another entity. So the way I think of it is that it's more spiritual, less physical than the 3D. It's a part of me, since the 5D encompasses the 3D. It absolutely is me, but because it pretty much is my soul, but not, and I'll explain that because some people call them one and the same, but the higher self is me. It's just what the soul has given me as an anchor to alignment to my best timeline. And I did ask why, like, why would I have a higher self and a soul if they're pretty much the same? What's the difference? So remember, the 5D is not somewhere else, and your higher self is not someone else. In the 3D experience, as you become more aware, you begin to feel oneness with your higher self because you're aligning. You feel that unity with your soul, with your twin flame, even. So, your higher self is the anchor for you to your soul as you're experiencing the 3D. But also remember, it's a physical creation as well. And that actually plays a part in this next bit. So, I know many question this, and I have too, and that is, do you and your twin flame share the higher self, or do you each have your own? And what I got from guidance is that it's both. So as we ascend, we're getting closer to union with our soul, who is, yes, also your twin flame. And our higher selves, as physical creations, though less dense than the 3D, our higher selves are each of us in our physical selves and can actually change with each lifetime. So our higher selves are spiritually in union, but separate bodies physically. But they can merge physically because they're less dense, more spirit, if that makes sense. The higher selves are of the one soul. That's why when we ascend higher and higher, we begin to feel that union with our twin flame, with our soul, with our higher self. And this is where the physical aspects of the higher selves take on duality and have characteristics of both bodies. Your higher self is a part of you. It's always with you. It's like having a navigation system to lead you back home to your soul if you use it. You have to be open to it, to receive that continual communication, that good line of communication. So I'm going to wrap things up here. If you're interested in hearing more of the breakdown of part 6, which was Soul Bridge, please subscribe and thank you for watching.